welcome to the channel, viewers. You're with Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. You're looking at your minor Ettalong beaches there, coming down to your minor on the New South Wales Central Coast through the surf cam. Thank you for joining me. I do want to speak to people that are suffering from a breakup, an unnecessary breakup, and the pain that you might be going through. I sense from my experience that this is happening all the time now due to the dark value system, the new dark value system that people are embracing, where they're not hanging on to the traditional value system that works, basically. That's why there's a high number now of single mothers and broken people that are coming from these single mother arrangements. There's a lot of malfunction, dysfunction, sadness and disappointment coming out of the lack of discipline, the lack of resilience and fortitude in discipline, and created by discipline for young people. Young people are being given authority to stand over and dictate to their parents. The parents give in, and again, this is because the foundation of the domestic structure is lacking boundaries and other necessities that are required for it to work the way that it should. And this is ripple affecting right on over through to the adult lives, because I've been in a few relationships now with women and gotten along quite well with these people, but I'm not sure if they're using their children on purpose or what the story is. But I get to the stage where I go, no, I can't do that anymore. I'm not happy to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore because of the intrusiveness and the destructiveness of the hostility of these people's children. What they don't realize is the children don't want anything in that person's life, the parent's life, that's going to take away attention from them. And all I can say to you as adults or you young people, unfortunately, you're just going to have to sort yourselves out at this stage. But what I will say is, if you're with a daddy's girl or a mummy's boy, you've got to identify this quickly and call it for what it is. And I think young people do catch these people out a lot quicker. Just bear with me for a minute, viewers. And it's bringing a lot of credibility to the decisions that are being made with the emotional enmeshment or incest, structures that are being formed through the single mother families. These structures are being undone now by an awareness. There's a natural instinctive awareness, but with the theoretical awareness as well, people aren't being mucked around with for longer than they should be. Once they're aware of it, they're making decisions that are saving their time from a lot of grief and a lot of sadness and a lot of confusion and, in many ways, PTSD. At the end of the day, the problem doesn't need to be a problem. It comes down to boundaries. If the parent realizes, and the parent should know, I've become too attached to my children, This is going to cause a bit of an upheaval if I bring another person in. It's going to hurt the child that I've given authority to in my life. And these people don't seem to be aware of this. What happens is, when the child begins to manifest objection, hostility, resentment, conceitedness, and all these other dark triad characteristic traits towards the mother or the father, if they've got a new partner, then the partner will sense this. It's at this point you've got to make a decision with the person that you're with. Are we working together for the relationship and for the benefit of your relationship with your children, which now needs to have some different structures in place? You can obviously see that your child's in opposition initially at the moment to your relationship with me. And the parents that aren't willing to do that, my only advice that I can really give you that I think is going to help you is to walk away. You have to walk away, because you're going to be dealing with psychological issues that aren't going to go away. Because if the child or the adult child or the parent, if you're with one of these golden daughters or golden adult child sons, the parent won't go away, because it's a DNA bond, and that comes with an element of authority, and it's an authority which they'll use to ruse and rouse and wreck the relationship that you're trying to build, because they will not want to give up the authority that they have over the emotional percentage that they're getting from the parent or the child. And this is what the battle's about. It's about the emotional percentage that the parent or the child is receiving from the extra maternal enmeshment. And I've tried lots of strategies. I was married to one woman, and the son moved in, and the marriage was over in 10 weeks. That all come down to the way in which her son was raised, which was completely a different culture to mine. It was a lazy, irresponsible, my mummy's my wife type culture, which I couldn't accept. He wouldn't clean up after himself. He wouldn't play his part. She became maternal, of course. She didn't know what to do. She was humiliated, absolutely demoralised by her children. And I had to ask them to leave. He just forfeited on everything he said he would do. And I was disgusted. And the problem she'd seen me ask a couple of my children to leave to bring discipline and revelation to them in their growth. And as she could see that it was getting closer and closer for her son to be asked to leave, she knew that she would have to probably go as well, because he wouldn't be able to house himself. So these adult children they most certainly will sabotage the parents' relationship. And they don't care about the consequences of that, particularly on you. As long as they've got mummy or daddy continuing to supply them with what they want, and these are adult people, then that's really all that you've got to leave them alone. Basically, you've been fooled, you've been duped. The person that you're with wasn't prepared to have a proper relationship. They've proven that via the way in which it's all panned out. You'll probably get the blame. That's the narcissism behind it all, the malignant narcissism, the overt narcissism that comes out of the maternal response to protecting the child. But they go into protecting the child from you but they should be they should be protecting you from the delinquent child, because it's the child that's gone delinquent, not the partner. Now I have, and we all know there's stories of stepmothers and stepfathers that are wicked and evil. I'm not talking about that subject, and those people need to be addressed, and those people need to be dealt with as well. But when it comes to emotional incest and all the pain and suffering that comes with that, all the interference and intrusion and loss of time and love and investment into a person's life, that's when, if all else is lost, you have to walk away. You're not in a relationship with an adult to deal with people's children, and they've got no right to be in the privacy of the relationship. At the end of the day, they've just got no right. It's just an intrusion on your personal space. And if that parent that you're with cannot pull their children into line, then there's no solution for you at all. It's not coming. It's not there. It's not going to come. It's just not going to happen because they're too enmeshed with the child. I hope this helps you. I hope in some way it resonates, or you have found some kind of consolation for yourself in a situation that you might find yourself in that's become very wearing. I mean, it completely wears you out. And they've got no concept of this. They've got no idea of this. This is how ignorant these people are. You might also have a revelation now that this is a real problem. It's not... it's more prevalent than you think. And you've got every right to be able to say to yourself, I need to leave these people alone. They're not going to be able to adapt in a healthy way for the benefit of my inclusion into their lives. This is Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, speaking to you, overlooking Umina and Ettalong on the surf cam out across. Gee, that's a nice view, isn't it? If you like the videos and think it's worthy of a subscription, I would ask you to do that. Most of all, I'd like you to comment on your experiences with emotional incest, because it helps me to develop talks. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.